Hey, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Why are we getting out of the car? Because we want you to see what it's going to look like when you get out of the car. We're so happy that you are deciding to come back, if you're deciding to come back to worship. But I'm telling you right now, you see that it's a safe environment and that we're coming with our mask on, but we're coming to lift up the name of the Lord. You have to be aware that you need your mask on. There's going to be a process that you're going to do when you come up here. But we want you to know that the environment is safe. It's been sanitized, it's been clean. And as we go into the sanctuary, as we go into the vestibule, and as we tell you how things are going to be, it's going to be an awesome time. I tell you, I can't wait for you to see what we've done and what we're going to do as we come in. As we come into the sanctuary, this is going to be an exciting time, right? It's going to be very exciting. So we want you to know that take your time, but we're going to walk you through today the whole process of what it's going to look like and what you can expect. Now, we do know that this may change. That if the governor says, hey, no more phase 4, and he takes us back to phase 3, then our plan has to change as well. But as it stands right now, we're going to show you everything that you can expect. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's show them. So as you see, someone's come up and you have on your mask. They get their temperature checked. And so when their temperature passes the threshold, so 97.7 is about normal. If it goes above 99 or 101, we're going to ask you to go back home because that is a fever. And that fever lets you know that it's time to come home. Here we have someone who doesn't have a mask. They go to church here, but they're not following the CDC guidelines or what the church is asking them to do. So politely, we see the individual taking the temperature check to say, hey, come on now, we all a family. This is a church family, and we don't need any friction on the first day. So please wear your mask. If you're not going to wear a mask, you can't worship here. There's no entry in unless you have a mask, even if you are a member of this church, all right? Now we have someone who has a mask, quote unquote, air quotes. They have a mask, but it's not the right mask. It's not the mask covering their droplets or their breathing. And so that mask won't work. Good try. They need to have the proper mask. And so we see our attendant is doing everything godly. And they're saying, hey, listen, come on. We know what's right. And so this member politely says, you know what? I'll submit to what's going on because I want to keep everybody safe. I want to keep myself safe. And look what they're doing. They get their temperature checked and they get their mask on. And you see our attendant has gloves on. So they're passing out those masks and letting people know, hey, come with one. But if you don't have one, we can get you one. But finally, we have another member. Masked, excited, ready, coming in, getting their temperature checked. They passed the temperature check. And now they're ready to come on into worship. So now we're going to show you what it looks like if you get in the vestibule and we're kind of packed out. So now we're in the vestibule and it can get bottlenecked. So we want you to stay 6 feet apart and follow the usher. Wherever the usher is telling you to sit is for your safety. This is not, we're picking and choosing. We want you to be safe. So we have a member here who's used to sitting on one side and they normally go here. But the usher is really asking you, please, that side is probably already packed. So please come in and sit. Saints, we are a family. This is New Bethel. This is not somebody else's church. We are a family. So let's listen to the ushers. The ushers are our family members. The deacons are our family members. The Nehemiah men. So no matter where you normally sit, that may change because you know what? Everything has changed. Life is not the same. Our nation's not the same. We have another member who's used to sitting on that side. But she politely says, you know what? Okay, I'll sit over here. And it may be a change for you. But guess what? God is still the same. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And now we have a saint that's saying, I normally sit over here, but okay, there's no choosing. That's fine. I signed up for this service. I'm going to be obedient, and here I go. And as you can see, as they're sitting down, you see it taped off, and we see an usher. This is the end of our 10 a.m. service. So by section and by row, we are dismissing individuals. It's going to take a long process, but we want everybody to be safe. The dismissal for the overflow is a different exit. So we all came in, but we're going out different ways. This is long. This can be tedious, but it's for your safety. There's somebody at the door with gloves on, opening for you, and you go out the door. And each person that came into the service, that signed up, they go one at a time. Pastor, why is it one at a time? Just because, saints, we can allow anybody not to be safe. And so we know how we like to talk. We know how we like to congregate. So one at a time, you can do that outside. But once service is over, we got to get ready for the next service, which is what we're going to show you now. So each row by section is being dismissed by row. If there's multiple people, we have to dismiss by that row so that people are safe. Nobody's bottleneck. Nobody is in a situation where they can be connected to anybody, okay? And here's our last individual that's leaving out. Service is over with. We've had a great service. God has gotten the glory. We're praying that people get saved, but safety is still number one. We want to make sure folks, like this, you see, they still have their mask on. They're still practicing social distancing, and they're still being safe, even while being in church. And the Holy Ghost can hit you as you're walking out the door, because we know that God is still God. Look at that. So we thank God for that. So now that service is over, we're getting prepared for the next service. And so now you see us using this vapor, this disinfectant to spray down the pews. And you see us going through some processes in order to make sure that everything is disinfected where people have sat. Now, there is a way that we can have gloves on, and we'll be cleaning and making sure things. You see Deacon Smith even getting our tape to make sure that for the next service, we know everybody's going to sit. We're writing stuff down. Again, this is just a video on what to expect. It'll be more extensive if we had more time. We're even cleaning the doors. We're cleaning everywhere that we know that people have sat. These are trying times, saints, and Pastor will be the first to tell you, I don't know what I'm doing without the Holy Ghost. And its safety is where we are at. So let me say it again as I've been saying it. If you don't feel comfortable coming back to church, don't feel bad. That's okay. That's why we have a virtual campus. We want you to stay connected to the church, stay connected. Now, your Sunday school class is still virtual. Wednesday night is still virtual. All of our other ministries are still virtual. We are starting small with our service. Only 65 people can fit into the sanctuary. We want you to register. On the 15th is when you start registering. All right. After that, it'll be open weekly. So every week on that Sunday, preceding the next Sunday, you start registering. If you feel comfortable. All right. We're going to be practicing social distancing. As you saw, you're getting your temperature taken. We're doing everything that the CDC is asking us to do. We know that the virus is scary, but God is the author and the finisher of our faith. And so we want you to be comfortable when you're at worship. We don't want you to touch people. We don't want you moving around. You got to be still. We want you to know that we're going through the proper protocols and everything that we know to do to keep you safe. It's safe here. It's been cleansed. It's going to be cleansed in between services. You saw that. So after this, you got to make your own decision. But guess what? New Bethel is not just a house. New Bethel is a nation. It is a community. It is us, because we are the church. So be safe. Stay prayed up. Know that God and the church has your best interest in mind. If you have any questions or comments, there's a place on our web page you can go on and you can put any of your comments and your questions on there. And make sure you support the church. Keep praying for us, because we're doing this. If anything changes with our government, our governor, we're going to change. So we're not just stuck in our ways. We're going to change to keep you safe. Stay connected, stay informed, stay prayed up. I'll see you when I see you.